on our interviews, our boy Kyrie had to make news, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like I personally had like zero reaction to it. I was like, okay, like good, do your thing. I think the way he's been portrayed at times by the media has been unfair anyway. So like it meant very little to me. I don't know about you. As long as he's playing basketball and he's healthy and he's playing well and his teammates like him, that's all I care about for this year.
I, and pause when I say this. Kyrie is a dickhead, but he's our dickhead. I
Yeah,
say
like
this
he's been
all the
crazy.
time. Like when we, when we, I, when we were trading for him, I didn't want it. I was so wrong, and so foolish in thinking that we didn't need Kyrie Irving. Every team needs a Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a monster. Now, because Kevin Durant hasn't suited up and played a game for us, Kyrie Irving might be the best basketball player to ever play for a New York City team. And that includes Carmelo Anthony. That includes Patrick Ewing, Bernard King, even Jason Kidd, even though that's technically New Jersey.
Knicks fans are going to be pissed that you didn't say Clyde.
I mean, listen, Clyde was a great player. Clyde is the greatest player based off of accomplishment, based off of the results. But I'm talking about talent. The spectacle that is Kyrie Irving is the best talent to ever wear a New York City basketball uniform. And he's a dickhead. And that's okay. And we have to accept that. Like, all of his stuff happened before. And it's too much stuff for people to just break it down to just be media. It's easy. He makes it easy for the media. Because he could have just got on a Zoom and was like, no, yes, no, I'm not feeling that, no, yes, no. But Kyrie's already in his feelings. He's already on some bullshit. I know he's probably already given, Steve Nash some kind of back talk. However, it doesn't matter because we have Kevin Durant and because we have Karis LeVert and because we have Spencer Dinwiddie and because we have Jarrett Allen. And like, I don't care. Dude, I hope Kyrie starts a seminar on Flat Earth tomorrow.
Yeah,
I,
go.
I want him to do his thing. Get it all off your chest, Kyrie. And let's call it a day. Now, I will tell you what I am scared of. Can you take a guess of what I am scared of? It's impossible, but I want to see if you could.
I was gonna say something related to his health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Athletes act like what the worst version as a human being of an athlete is when an athlete's body betrays them. I am scared that something happened and he is hurt and he doesn't want to talk to anybody about it.
Yeah. I mean, people are nervous that it's either that or he has corona or something. It's one of the two. Like,
And
I
that's
mean,
and that's what makes this whole thing worse. Because if it's either of those things, it makes him look even worse. It makes him look even more of a sucker. Like, he could have just, yeah, listen, this is what's going on with me right now. I'm not sure. Let me get back to everybody. I know you guys got a job to do. Let me get back to you. I need to, get my head around what's going on with me.
yeah.
I but that's not the way he's going to handle it. And the worst thing that's happening is that amongst Nets fandom, there's the Kyrie police. Now, I love all of y'all, but there's a sect of Nets fans that aren't really Nets fans. They're Kyrie fans, and they're kind of muddying up the waters with whether Kyrie is justified, saying things like, well, whatever he says, they're going to crucify him anyway. No, that's not true. Don't give him nothing. They have media training. You can come in there, do your job, say all the right things, lie to us. Lie to us. But now we have to speculate. Now the games, the circus organ starts playing, and the clowns come out and the monkeys start dancing and all, and this is where the bullshit begins. Like, he's his worst enemy.
Yeah, but you know what? This is the thing. This is what I'll say about him, though. He's like, and I know you want to hit on other topics. So I'm just going to say this quickly about him. He to me is a lightning rod, and like he every single thing that he says basically is going to elicit some type of story similar to Durant. Like, whenever these guys, with those two guys specifically, it's different than some of these other stars where, like, when if Curry makes a statement, it doesn't have to become a whole like Bleacher Report and ESPN and SI.com, whatever.
No, but Curry doesn't. Don't you think a part of that is that Curry doesn't really say crazy stuff? Okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
He's the one that offered to people that he believed in flat Earth. He's the one that forced his way out of the Cavs, and the responses that he gives is bonkers. Yeah, and I don't want us to feel like we can't admit that it's crazy. It's crazy, and you know why it's okay, Sam? Because he's great.
Yeah.
Be as crazy. Be yourself.
Hey, you should go and say whatever. Say whatever. I'm just gonna drown it out because it means like next to nothing. Like, all of that stuff means next to nothing for me.
Yeah, it
like,
only
as long
means
as he's
something.
Playing, he's playing.
It only means something when it's affecting other people's playing time. It's keeping the team from being the best team that it could be, and that can happen. But that's where. See, that's where I worry about Kevin Durant. And I don't necessarily love him guarding power forwards, or having to have that burden. That worries me too. But what really worries me with Kevin Durant is that he doesn't have the leadership to check Kyrie. Steve Nash can't do it day one. He can't call Kyrie and be like, "Look, this is what happens to every high-profile basketball player. Me, myself, I've gone through this. I've won 2 MVPs, and I've had to answer the question of whether I won my MVPs because I'm a white point guard. I had to answer those questions. I had to do it with grace, and I had to represent my team and my city."
But do you know the thing is
can he say that to Kyrie though? How does Kyrie respond to that, Sam?
But I guess this is my thing with everything related to him is like he was with LeBron, who is the biggest NBA icon ever besides Michael Jordan, and it seemed like they butt heads, and it clearly ended poorly, and yada yada yada. So part of the calculus of having him on the team is, look, he's one of those geniuses that also speaks his mind a lot, and like
Kyrie is "you're not a boss of me" guy. Like, LeBron is telling him LeBron could be. I could just see it. I'm making all of this up, but I could just tell me if I'm crazy for thinking this. I could just see him and LeBron being together, and him looking at LeBron and saying, "Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? You're not the boss of me."
For sure. But I guess my thing is that what's interesting about the whole Kyrie experiment is that he gets all this crap for him talking however he talks and saying whatever he says and all that stuff. But he's not the first point guard to have a massive issue with coaches or players. I mean, Jason Kidd got Byron Scott fired. Rondo's had an issue with almost anywhere he went. Incredible.
No, I'm sorry. I take 10 Kyries over. I'm talking about off the court wise. I'm not talking about on the court wise. But off the court wise, I think Kyrie is a way better guy than Jason Kidd. I also think Kyrie is a way better guy than another great who used to get a lot of stuff for us. I think he's a better guy than Darren Williams too. So
right, and so my point is what I think is weird about the whole way that Kyrie is talked about is that the dude has basically said a couple of things that are a little off the mark, but yet he's won a title, which almost none of these point guards, or a lot of them who also have gotten coaches fired or whatever, have done. and he also does like a gazillion things outside the community that basically get little to no effort and or
No,
get
that's not
little
true. I refuse. Listen, Kyrie has the biggest echo chamber in the NBA. I have seen him give out the same 1 hour of giving out turkeys. I've seen 7 hours of footage of different angles of Kyrie gets his positive stuff because he's beloved. He has his own movement. The Kyrie movement might be bigger than the Nets movement. If we're being honest, like he's that.
but he's also
loved.
got a huge anti-movement.
He has he definitely has an anti movement, but he doesn't have Skip Bayless talking about him every morning like LeBron does. He doesn't have guys from the Bay basically giving him crap because he left Golden State. Like everybody who's a superstar has their cross to carry, but you're supposed to carry that with grace and style. Look, I'm not gonna say you have to be the greatest who ever done it in handling the media, but Derek Jeter was the greatest who ever done it. Derek Jeter had women in the internet age. It's not that long ago that Derek Jeter was a single man in New York City. He would have women ushered out of his apartment with a gift basket and a thank you note and a cab waiting for them to go home. And he didn't have no problems in the city. There's a way to do this. I'm not saying Kyrie has to be that guy, but there's a way to navigate this, and it doesn't start like nothing has happened, Sam. That's what's the craziest thing about this. Like nothing has happened, and he's already talking about I don't want to talk to the media right now. What? Oh. By the way, give me your theory, not the injury one, but give me your theory why Kyrie is surly, considering nothing has happened.
I mean, I guess the nervous part of me thinks that he has corona, but even if he doesn't, I guess I'll go in another way. I think I don't know. I think he probably didn't really appreciate the way that he was treated during the post George Floyd commentary, and I feel like he's probably just sick of it and wants to play basketball and is excited for this season. That's basically the only thing I can think of, to be honest. I mean, is there anything else?
I don't think he likes that people were suggesting that the Nets trade him for Harden. I think he's seen some of that stuff.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know if that has anything to do with the media, does it? That's more of like a fan thing.
I don't know. I think media people have suggested it. I think I forgot. I believe it was I forget what that guy who was bald and miraculously grew back. Nick Wright. Nick Wright basically was saying, the only way a Harden trade happens is if, if you trade him for Kyrie. And I don't know. It just makes so much it doesn't make sense. So guessing why, like nothing has happened. The George Floyd stuff happened a long time ago. The only thing that really makes sense, the closest between what me and you are saying, the only thing after deliberating on it a little bit between me and you, I think the only thing that makes sense is that he has COVID and he's being a baby about it. He did mention COVID right at the beginning of the statement.
Yeah, if I was betting on it, that's what I would bet on, that it's COVID related.
That's got to be Yahtzee for Kyrie. Now he's caught the virus. He's missed time for every kind of physical reason. Well, the virus just chuck that on the pile of stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean for sure. What was I saying? But you also, I know that you wanted to say something quick to Nets Nation. We were talking about the Anthony Davis which I like. Personally, I think the way that this whole thing was handled was super bizarre from the Rich Paul end, but clearly there's something going on. I don't know what, but it obviously got resolved. But I'm leaving the floor open, D.